an athlete from just over the English Channel, Monsieur the Frenchman, Enzo Lefort, 27 years old. He is the world number 10. He's been on a world championship podium piste before. In 2014, he lost in the semi-finals, collecting the bronze in Kazan in Russia. He's back again. It's time for the gold medal match in the Fencing World Championships individual men's foil event, and great respect shown between the two athletes. It certainly is a kind of magic. The world number 10 from France takes on the world number 50 from Great Britain, Lefort against Mepstead for gold in Budapest. Numeric flow down with Enzo Lefort in the box. Head of the French foil program now, based out of INSEP. There is Lefort getting ready, taking on a little bit of water. Marcus Mepstead has recently moved to New York, based out of Brooklyn, under coach Dan Kellner, a former Olympic foil fencer himself. It's time to go for gold, and it's Florent Jorge, the referee, who is about to get this gold medal match between Lefort of France on the left and Mepstead of Great Britain on the right underway. Here we go. I'm joined by Lawrence Halstead, Performance Director of Danish Fencing. Lawrence, you are a GB Olympian on the same team as Marcus Mepstead. We need you to remain slightly impartial. Can you manage that?
I can manage that somewhat, is what I can promise. Look, Lefort is a fantastic competitor and athlete. He's looking so strong today. But I can't lie, I would like to see Marcus take this title. It will be the first time for Great Britain to win a World Championship title in decades, half a century, I think. So it would be special for Marcus and for the country as a whole. But he's up against a phenomenal fencer, and he's going to have to work for it. He's really going to have to deserve it.
Well, you want some history. Enzo Lefort, if he wins here, will be the first Frenchman to win the world title in men's foil since Philippe Omnes in 1990. That's what my stats say.
Can that be true? I would have put money on the French having plenty of individual world titles since
in men's foil.
In men's foil.
You come up with one, and I'll check it out. But what is for sure is Marcus Mepstead will be Great Britain's first world champion, I believe, in any discipline since 1959, should he win here. Alan Jay, the last British fencer to take a world title.
I think the French have won in men's foil. They've won the team event in the World Championships so many times that I might be getting confused that they've won the individual event as well.
Well, a change of weapon for the British fencer.
What you see on display here is two fencers with fantastic physical ability, both two of the best footworks. Their footwork is up there with the very best in the world. They both have these great deep on-guard positions, and it means they move with such fluidity and such balance. Marcus getting the hit, and Lefort has asked the referee if he ducked his head too much, but the referee says no, it was a fine hit. Gives it to Marcus, he's off. He's on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we've already had a minute and a bit of this fight. Now, meeting with a blade.
Marcus, a counter-attack from Lefort. Unsuccessful because Marcus landed his point. Had the right of way from attacking. 2-2.
Lefort on the attack again. Attack versus defense. At the moment, attack is just edging it.
Marcus will be able to win this fight if he can keep Lefort's attacks to a minimal. He will always get hits with his attacks, Lefort. He is so good with attacking, he will get hits. But if Marcus can limit them, then he buys himself a chance to win this World Championship final. He's been using line in defense successfully, Marcus, so keeping a straight arm. The attacker needs to then beat his blade to take the right of way. It has been effective. There it goes again. He puts his line out.
Blade met. This is given as attack for Lefort. And it looks like Dan Kellner's giving the instruction to Marcus Mepstead to challenge this. And he does indeed ask Florian Jorge, the referee, to go and have a look at the video. These two have faced each other 7 times in the past. Lefort has the head-to-head 5-2 in his favour. There was also an unofficial match between these two for a television advert for a famous manufacturer. Let's just say they're based in London. I don't want to cross any advertising boundaries here. And I believe the advert suggests that Mepstead won that fight. So 5-3 perhaps, if you include that match.
We can include that match.
At the moment, though, Lefort winning on the attack.
Oh, no. Looks like Marcus's blade, Marcus's weapon's not working, but
he tested it himself,
which you're not allowed to do. If you want the referee to annul a hit because your weapon's not working, you have to give it directly to the referee.
And why is that?
Well, I assume it's just to prove that you haven't fiddled with anything.
Well, in case it breaks when you test it yourself.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the sort of...
That it was working until you were the last straw. But that's unlucky for Marcus because his blade wasn't working. And he finds himself 6-2 down at the beginning of this match. But Marcus has, throughout the day, he's started some matches down and has always come back, has figured out his opponent and has fought his way back. One particular match against Alexander Chupinich where he only took the lead very late in the match and ended up winning. So this is by no means, I don't think he'll be feeling out of his comfort zone at all yet, Marcus.
No, and you're right, that match against Shoot was a pretty amazing one. And those two have trained together quite often as well. Chupinich comes to London quite a lot, but since Mepstead moved over to the States, perhaps they haven't trained quite as much, so didn't know each other quite as well as perhaps they might have done in the past. Well, there's a big technical change over here. How much do you think fitness is going to play a part in this final? And no, I don't want to put you on the spot. Obviously, you're a former British Olympian who's fenced with Marcus here. But Lefort did look very strong, and he has had one DNF in the route here. He perhaps hasn't exerted as much energy as Mepstead has.
Yeah, if you get a fight where somebody has to pull out, then that's a lot of saved energy, and Marcus has really, he fights his way. I mean, he puts his heart and soul into every match. So at this stage of the day, fitness, you only get here by being super fit, and you're definitely not as fresh as in the first few matches. But these guys both look like they have the energy.
Well, we're here in the gold medal match of the men's foil match in the 2019 Fencing World Championships in Budapest. Enzo Lefort, much more attacking fencer, is 6-2 up with just under a minute to go in the first of potentially 3 periods. Mepstead, of course, would have had to go through the qualifying day. How much of that saps your energy?
It is a long, difficult day, except this time there were 2 days break in between the first round, the first day, and this finals day. So that's plenty of time to recover. And in fact, if you ask anyone, any of these guys' competitors or anyone on the men's foil circuit, who the fittest fencers are, these two guys would be up amongst them. Perhaps not a coincidence then that they're the last two standing. They really are both top shape men's foilists.
Well, it's a busy week for Enzo Lefort. His partner is due to give birth, and not only was he hoping to get through the round of 64, let alone make it through to the final, he's hoping that his baby is late in delivery so that he can get there in time. I wonder if he's going to have an effect on the team event for the French team, because that baby is due this week.
Wow.
And Merrick Clote is in the box down the other end of the piste as we getting the body wire. You see, that's the body wire that comes out from under the jacket of Marcus Mepstead, being just tightened up and clipped back in. And the armourer just trying to get that round the right way. But Merrick Clote is pacing up and down, and he's got this sort of spiky stress ball in his hand. He's full of nervous energy. Is he going to oversee the first French world champion in men's foil since Hommes in 1990? And that was on home soil in Lyon. The only reason I know that is because the French boycotted the Senior World Championships that year and held their own Coupe du Monde. And that was Hommes that won that one in Lyon. I was competing in the junior event there.
Oh, wow.
Long time back now.
Shows how old you are.
Oh, yeah. Well, the fact that you were my last domestic fight, Lawrence, does put a little bit of an age marker on you as well.
So it's about now that Marcus really needs to have found some of Lefort's rhythm and get a couple of hits back. He doesn't want to go any further back behind than he is now. Lefort being fairly restrained for himself. Often you see him coming out flying, but because it's the biggest stage, he clearly respects his opponent, and he doesn't want to take any risks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that is a measure of just how well Marcus Mepstead is fencing today, that Lefort has not sprung out of the blocks quite as fast as he might have done, and now he's employing some defensive tactics. He gets a stop hit in there. These two are extremely good friends, and you perhaps would have seen evidence of that right at the beginning of the match where they high-fived each other, and I'm sure that there was a respectful good luck, mate sort of gesture between the two. But as soon as they put their masks on, of course, they've got to put that all to one side. It's the gold medal match in the men's foil competition here, and it's the attacking fencer Enzo Lefort from France who is leading 7-2 against Marcus Mepstead. Dan Kellner down at the end of the piste with Marcus Mepstead there. Lawrence, what do you think he's going to be saying?
Yeah, I think Marcus has been fencing well. He's just missed out on some of the margins, and Lefort is, yeah, he's just getting advantage of the distance. Marcus needs to draw him out a bit more and play a bit more second intention. Lefort is so good at this kind of power game that you need to outthink him a little bit more. You need to be one step ahead, and that's where Marcus can make the next step. I think is you have to risk something always. You have to second guess your opponent, and you can get that wrong. So that's what Marcus needs to do now. He needs to draw out Lefort, predict where he's going to be going, and then have an action ready for it.
So We begin the second period of the men's foil gold medal match at the 2019 Fencing World Championships. Enzo Lefort of France on the left leads Marcus Mepstead of Great Britain 8-2 now, getting off the mark early doors with a really classic feint disengaged step lunge attack.
It's a lovely long attack from Enzo Lefort, and he is going to start to feel comfortable now, which is not what Marcus wants. Don't want Enzo Lefort getting confident against you, and he's showing it by pushing his attack. Comes charging forward that time because he's feeling more confident. Now he feels he can throw in a longer, fast attack.
Would you call that broken time, that last attack? Finds the beat, brings it back and comes around the parry?
Exactly right, Ken. That was a broken time attack.
He's seeing that much more. That's nice from Mepstead, though, as he gets a parry riposting. You're seeing much more broken time attack. When I was fencing, I know you remember some of that. You crossed over in probably your teens. That broken time attack was a real favoured hit. It kind of disappeared for a while. It seems to be creeping back in more and more.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. There's certainly some fencers who use it as a signature move, this kind of broken time flesh. Enzo Lefort takes the blade and finishes his attack fluidly there. Marcus needs to find some inspiration here, otherwise this match is going to be over soon. Lefort,
another one.
This is his signature move, a long running broken arm attack. It's so difficult to defend against.
Yeah, and the trick of it is that you've got your opponent going backwards before you start to pull your arm back, and they're going, oh, and then before you know it, Lefort's on top of you.
Yeah. And it's so long, it's so difficult to get out of the way, and if you stop, then he's already ready for it. So
a commanding lead then for Enzo Lefort. The Frenchman is 11-3 up against Marcus Mepstead as the pair fight off for gold in the men's foil here at the 2019 World Championships.
A series of counter parry ripostes ends with just a single off-target light from Lefort. Marcus needs to win those hits if he's going to claw this back.
Well, trying the counter again, we're going to get to a stage where Lefort's going to say, well, if all you're going to do is counter-attack me, I'm just going to stop attacking you. I'm 11-3 up. I don't need to take any risks anymore.
I think this is a big enough lead that he can keep pushing. You don't really want to give too much space to your opponent if you're leading like that.
That's a nice beat attack, though, on the flesh from Marcus Mepstead. And Dan Kellner there, his coach from Brooklyn, New York, applauding him for changing things up and going out on the attack.
I think we'll see Lefort continuing to pressure because he's so good at it. He can afford to miss a few, and even getting one in every 2 or 3 is enough to finish this match.
Oh, chance for Mepstead there.
Hit.
And
these marginal hits, they're also going to Lefort.
Well, Mepstead calling for a video review there, perhaps suggesting there was covering here. For me, it looks like the arm stays well back for Lefort until the very, very last minute. Now, you have to just get your arm out the way if you turn your back shoulder in front of your front shoulder, but I think it was fair enough, and so does Florent Jorge.
Parry from Lefort.
And it's now just 2 away from a world title. He got the bronze medal in 2014 in Kazan, Enzo Lefort. He's definitely won better, but it looks like it's going to be 2, and the world title, the first for a Frenchman since 1990, and Philippe Omnes. And Merrick Clos turning around, punching the air. It's not done yet.
They know this is an unassailable mountain now, and he's fencing so well. And, he can't finish it with his signature.
Counter-attack from Mepstead, just going down on his haunches a little bit here. Mepstead on the attack. Lefort easily evades it.
It's a parry riposte from Marcus, so he's not giving it. He's not giving it over easy.
He's fighting his way through. He's digging deep here. The British athlete Richard Cruz got the silver last year, and it's a parry riposte. And Enzo Lefort is the world champion of 2019. He picked up a bronze in 2014, but the last Frenchman to claim the world title in men's foil was Philippe Omnes in 1990. Cue the supporters. Well, the French teammates riding high on the wave as they throw Enzo Lefort into the air. His teammates, Julien Martin, the women's sabre team, the reigning team world champions, Erwan Lepescu, all in the mix as Dan Kellner goes over to celebrate or support and congratulate the gold medal match winner, Enzo Lefort, getting a hug from coach Emeric Clot. Well, Lawrence, that was an absolutely epic performance from Emeric Clot as Johnny Davis congratulates Marcus Mepstead for his silver medal winning performance, matching his teammate Richard Cruz, who picked up the silver medal in Wuxi last year at the World Championships. But hats off to Enzo Lefort. He was just too good.
Phenomenal performance in the final, in the semi-final. Enzo Lefort will be a very popular world champion amongst his peers. He's a very likeable guy. He's a phenomenal athlete. And this was just a masterclass of fencing. He had control throughout these matches, these finals matches, and what a dream performance for him. He'll enjoy remembering this for a long, long time.
There he is, the celebrations from Enzo Lefort. He is the world champion of 2019 in men's foil.